There are ancient legends across many cultures that tell of a demon or deity that feed on the blood of the living. These tales, with the belief that the dead could rise again, gave way to one of our most well-known monsters. A being so powerful and charismatic that you could easily become their next meal. This monster's complexity has inspired media for centuries, and will continue as humans remain under the trance of vampires.
Welcome to 13 Degrees of Screams,
where we watch and dissect your favorite spooky movies.
I'm your host, Alex.
And Stephanie.
And this is a mostly horror podcast.
Each season we will rank 13 movies on a scariness scale from, you guessed it, 1 to 13.
We will uncover the real-life myths and legends that inspire these movies, and tell you just how authentic they are.
This week we recap our second season on vampires.
So, Stephanie.
Yes.
We're done with the season.
I know, yay!
We're done!
Yes.
How did you like the vampire movies?
I really love this genre for monsters. I've had a lot of fun. How about you?
Yeah, I liked them. I think outside of like one or two, I enjoyed them all a lot.
Well, we agreed that even the dumb ones were fun to watch.
Yeah,
because you could be like, wow, that's stupid.
Wow. Yeah, you'd love to hate it, right?
Yeah, right.
Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Vampires are really interesting, and it was cool to see the different variations, yet all the similarities.
Yes.
At the same time.
Right.
So, it's cool.
What would you describe as your favorite vampire characteristic that we saw throughout these films?
Oh, gosh. I think just how alluring they are, and just how they're able to basically ensnare their prey just very easily.
Yeah.
And by doing
they don't try it hard at all.
Right. I just think that's a cool concept of basically just controlling them.
Yeah. I really liked the whole lore around like sires and covens. I thought it was interesting on like why sires bring people into the fold and stuff like that.
The head bitch in charge.
Yeah. I mean, like sometimes you gotta have friends, but too many friends can be too much.
It's not good.
Yeah. So it's a big house.
Yeah, you need a lot of space. And like I said, we talked about it many a time, but too many,
yeah,
you're going to run into issues.
Sometimes you have to put on a facade that you're a family, and then your children start dating each other. And
next thing you know, the world's out of blood.
Yeah.
Like, right on
the combination of two movies.
Right. I mean, it can happen.
Yeah. It's troublesome.
It is. Did you want to get into some movie superlatives?
Sure.
So, for our favorite movie, what did you have?
I put The Lost Boys.
The Lost Boys, the very last one.
Yeah, I did not expect to like it as much as I did, but it's just so delightful. I don't know. I had a lot of fun watching it. It was a really easy watch, and like you don't have to think too hard about anything. You just kind of know where everyone's going and what everyone's doing, and it's got like a little mystery because they're trying to figure out who the head vampire is, and at first you think it's easy, and then it's not, and then you're like, oh, it was that guy.
Yeah. I think it has a good dose of horror elements, suspense elements, but also comedy, and just like a little touch of absurdism.
Right.
Just basically, what you talked about, how Sam was like just disappointed that he was a vampire.
Right.
Like not like
thoroughly
utterly
pissed off.
Yeah, he was just mad. Not like horrified, scared. Just like, really, Michael?
Right.
You're a vampire. Like, that is not a realistic reaction in any way, shape, or form. But it worked.
We literally had one rule, Michael.
Yeah. But it worked in context of the movie. So
yeah, it was so funny.
Everything works.
Yeah. And the Frog Brothers, too, they were a lot of fun because they were just so adamant about, like, we're vampire hunters, but then they didn't want to run out of that cave when they were being attacked, and they're like, we can't just run away or ride in a car with vampires, and he's like, we can when we're being chased.
Yeah, you literally did it on the way here, so it'll be fine.
So, yeah, what did you have for your favorite movie?
Interview with the Vampire.
It is a good one.
It
was definitely in the ones I was debating.
Yeah, I just love the history that they kind of go through, or Louise' character.
Yeah.
And the vibe, and the time period, and the costumes, and all that stuff. Acting, phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Kirsten Dunst, honestly, is probably why it's at top.
Right.
It's just a very well-crafted story, in my opinion. It's a little moody and dramatic, but I think that's part of its charm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, quintessential vampire. You know,
it's like Vampires meets like The Patriot kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
it's very in the moment, and
Mhm.
and like it also makes you like Tom Cruise, which I don't really care.
it made you like him.
Only the movie, like.
Well,
guess
no, I know the
characters-
character.
Well, I like Tom Cruise's character, which I was surprised because I
Yeah,
don't like
'cause
him
he's
otherwise.
Bad.
He's a bad person.
He's a bad character.
Yeah, but I like how he plays Lestat. He just has so much fun. I don't know.
You like to hate him,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. Yeah.
Lestat's funny. Louis is a little depressing.
Right. Like I said, very moody. I mean, understandably so. But the whole dynamic between the three of them,
Oh yeah.
I really like. So
Yeah. Kirsten Dunst brings a lot of maturity to a world.
I know. For being, what, 8?
Yeah.
Or something like that? I don't know. I love that movie. I think it's really good. What did you have for your least favorite movie?
Oh, I think you're gonna know.
Yeah, go ahead and say it.
30 Days of Night.
Oh.
I actually agree with you about the concept being cool, about how they're like stuck in Alaska and it's nighttime. The people are so dumb, and I just can't get on board when people are so dumb. Like, Invitation's very close. So, like when you're too dumb to figure it out, and when you're too dumb to survive,
Yeah.
I hate that.
That's fair. I guess. They are dumb. We agreed on that. But
Yeah.
I just, like, for 30 Days a Night, I just think it's so brutal and so visually cool, and the vampires were just ruthless, so I give them a little bit of a pass.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I feel like it's very hard to root for the good people in that kind of situation, and unless it's like a comedy and it's supposed to be like they're that dumb for a reason.
Yeah.
It just seemed like, wow.
Stephanie was not having it with these people at all.
Right.
They had it coming. They deserved it.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fair.
What did you have for your least favorite?
The Invitation.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I feel like, at least in The Invitation, like, I don't know, those vampires just seem like just people. Like, you could have easily gotten away from them, I feel, more than...
Yeah, kind of. If you actually listened.
Right. Like, okay, just go. Just leave. Don't marry this guy. Leave.
Right. And then
I
don't talk to anybody until you leave the country or whatever. And
Right.
then she's like, no, I'm going to do that.
Like, at least in 30 Days a Night, they can't get nowhere.
Right.
They're just trapped.
Yes. Yes, that
So-
is true.
The Invitation, I don't know. The Invitation was also just weird tonally.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on? Is this supposed to be romantic? Is this supposed to be scary?
Right,
Like,
because
what's
they
happening?
try to sell it as a love story at first, but then after the whole dinner scene, they're like, no, but you're really trapped here and you're going to marry me.
Yeah, I feel like they're trying to pull the rug out from under you kind of situation.
But you kind of knew what was going on.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, I guess this is more of a comment on the advertising of it, but, like, they showed all this shit in the trailer. Like, we knew what was happening. So it's
Right.
hard to, like, kind of be like, yeah, this is not going to go well for you. So,
Yeah. I think the thing that disappointed me the most about it, too, is just how she got there. Like, I was like, this is the most insane setup I've ever heard. Who gets
I
on
know.
a plane with somebody that says that they're your cousin? Come to a wedding with me.
right.
No?
I'm your long
I'm
lost.
going to pass.
Okay, no, yeah, sure. Fine, this is normal.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. What did you have for your favorite depiction of vampires?
Dark Shadows. I think
Dark
Johnny
Shadows.
Depp is a great vampire.
Okay.
I just love the gothic appeal. Like, I know it's also part of the whole soap opera it's based on, but I just think he's a lot of fun and he's very handsome.
Oh my god, that pale skin, those long fingernails.
Well, you could just cut those.
No, they grow it back.
Really?
Yeah, that's how that works. I don't know, maybe, probably. But that character is like, when you think of, I don't want to say cartoony, but like old school vampire.
Yeah.
Like that's that. That's what he
Yeah.
is in that.
Right.
Which, you know, it's cool. It's caricature almost.
Yeah, I like it. What about you?
I put Daybreakers.
Really?
The reason being, I felt like a lot of the movies were similar in, like, they look basically human,
Mm-hmm.
but this had that added element where they turn into those.
Yeah, when
Creatures.
they degenerate. Yeah.
So I thought that was a really cool concept.
They
where
were
you-
really creepy.
Yeah.
Honestly, I should probably move them up on the scarier scale based on that.
Yeah, but I liked that you had those two aspects to it, whereas, like, Ethan Hawke's character looked kind of like Jerry, kind of looked like the vampires from What We Do in the Shadows. They just look like human.
The same, yeah.
Yeah, but this had that extra little piece to it where they had these like grotesque creature vampires, which I thought was a really cool addition to that.
Yeah. Least favorite depiction of vampires. How about you go first? Yeah, that's fair.
It was barely a vampire.
Yeah.
I mean, has to drink blood.
Kind of.
The end?
Yeah.
Question mark? Like, that's,
What about the sparkles? No,
that's not a vampire. That's glitter, Stephanie. I don't know. It's just, it's vampire-esque.
It's vampire light, almost.
Light, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I've even heard the comparison to fairies, that Twilight is more like fairy people rather than vampires.
I could see that. Do fairies just live forever?
Like, have you ever heard of, like, a fairy circle or something, like mushroom circles or something?
Mm-hmm.
In mythology, I guess, like, if you go into these circles and stuff, like, fairies, not vampires, fairies can, like, trick you and trap you and make you agree to things that you might not agree to, or, trick you.
Yeah.
So then, like, it's more about, in, like, the second book in comparison to the first. So in the meadow scene, it's like it's described in the book as like a perfect circle. And it's so beautiful and lush and, like, heaven-like and everything. And then when she goes back, when it's gone, it's, like,
gross.
all dead. Like, all of the surrounding, it's, like, straw and, like, not lush at all. So it's, like, as soon as they left, they took away the magic of it.
This bitch a fairy.
Yeah.
Edward!
That's why he's sparkly.
All right, so no, don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's just not very vampire-like, in my opinion, so.
Mine was I Am Legend.
Which is fair, because that was also up on the table for me.
Yeah, I mean, I saw your point of how they were vampires after a while, but it's not like, it still doesn't come, like, first to mind when I think vampire movie.
100%.
And that was really all I was thinking.
A lot of people think they're zombies.
Which is fair.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I could see that for sure, but they're not.
No, I get it. Well,
what did you have for your most unique depiction of vampires?
Twilight.
You're not wrong.
They have the most absurd characteristics.
They do. Yeah.
Also because they get superpowers too. Like, they don't just get, like, the whole power of being a vampire and being alluring and having to hide in the dark and stuff like that. They get to be, like, reading people's minds and telling the future.
Yeah, telling the future. That's a cool one.
But I was like, okay. If I wanted to be a vampire, I would like that for the added perks.
And you could also go out in the sun.
Yeah, right.
And
just be a little sparkly.
Again, like, what's the, like, okay, they go out in the sun and they sparkle and people are going to be like, that's weird. Like, okay.
No one's going to stop you, I don't think. Like,
I mean,
wow,
is the government...
your skincare routine is great.
I know, is the government going to capture you and, like, study you? I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
But, like, okay, you sparkle. Like,
Right. I guess that's true.
But yeah, no, definitely unique.
What about you? Unique.
I Am Legend.
Oh, fair.
So we just swapped those.
Yeah, I see.
Again, they're very zombie-like. They, regress to the point of, like, barely talking, like, no English.
Yeah, they have, like, grunts and stuff that they communicate that way, and they just, like, scream at each other.
Yeah, and then, I mean, outside of that, their traits they just can't go in the sun. I don't know, there's like, again, a lot of people don't even realize
it's a vampire.
Yeah, so that's why it's unique in the sense of it's very different. So,
You almost have to be taken aside and being like, by the way, these are vampires.
Yeah.
So, what did you have for best acting?
I put Interview with the Vampire.
That's fair.
Everyone
were very
just
good.
slayed.
Yeah.
They all did great. So
everyone was good.
Yeah. Again, dramatic. Again, especially Brad Pitt's character. But to your point, like, Tom Cruise looked like he had a lot of fun with it.
Yes.
So.
And obviously Kirsten Dunst is
Kirsten
Dunst is doing great.
Yeah. That scene where she's like, "What did you do to me?" That's like the best scene in the whole movie.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, I felt that.
Right.
I felt that in my bones.
That's why I told you too. Like, when I first saw it in, like, bits and pieces, I was like, she must be in charge. Yeah. And she kind of was.
A little bit, yeah. For the, it's like kind of like when your dog runs the house. You do anything for your dog,
right?
Not to call Kirsten Stewart,
not to call a child a dog,
but
Yeah, no.
She can get away with anything.
Right.
What about you?
I had What We Do in the Shadows. I mean, it's not like the superior acting of Interview with a Vampire, but the comedic relief and everything is just very well timed, and just everyone's having fun with it and like doing the most.
Yeah.
It just reads well, you know?
Oh yeah, in terms of like comedy, like for sure. They
obviously like we quoted it like 7 times in the last one.
I know, right? It's so good. The acting is really good on that.
Right.
And speaking of acting, worst acting.
Say it on 3.
1, 2, 3. Twilight. Womp womp. Again, we enjoy it for what it is, but just what happened?
Yeah, you have these 2 people that you think are supposed to be in love, and they just look so constipated and inconvenienced by all.
Edward, I love you.
I don't know if I can stay away from you anymore.
Like, that's what it'd be like.
But it also happens in the bathroom.
But also, I can't stay away from you, and I can't poo. I don't know, it's all bad.
Yeah.
And if you've seen Twilight, you know exactly what we're talking about.
Right.
Even if you haven't seen Twilight, you know exactly what we're talking about.
Just watch a spoof on it, you'll know.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that movie. I don't know if I mentioned this during the episode. It's like called Vampire Sucks.
Oh, yeah.
That was a better Twilight movie than the Twilight movie.
Really?
Yes.
I think I watched part of it and I was like, it's gone too far.
No, it was better. What did you think was the best story?
Dark Shadow.
Dark Shadow. No, that's fair. I mean, I feel like that's very similar to like favorite movie. You know, it's like, why is it your favorite movie?
Well, also because like crammed like a whole show within a movie too. So like there's a lot going on. And I remember when we read the plot, it was like a lot of jumping back and forth and where we are and what's going on with the businesses, what's going on with Angelique and him in this business, and then with Josette or whatever her name is.
Yeah, I think it just shows that. It's been so long.
Yeah.
We've covered so much since then.
Yes.
But yeah, there was a lot going on. I remember halfway through the movie thinking we were towards the end. No. And I'm like, oh shit. We're like 40 minutes in and they pumped like 10 storylines into this thing.
Right. They definitely could do like a part 2. I hope they do.
I know. Yeah. Didn't we write it? I don't even remember what our idea was.
Or
yeah,
did you tell us that they were planning to do a sequel?
I don't remember, but I thought we had discussed like what our sequel would be. I don't know. Go listen to that episode. I'll listen. I want to listen to that episode after we do this to see if I'm crazy or not.
Okay.
There's a lot going on.
And how about you for best story?
Interview with a Vampire.
Fair.
You know, same reasons I said earlier, just spanning the time and the whole concept of it being an interview. It was just really cool to me.
Yeah, I like that idea too. Although it did upset me by what you said in the book, how it's just all in parentheses.
Yeah, that's why I can't finish that book. I started and I tried, and if I could somehow get over it, maybe I'll do an audiobook one day.
Yeah, there you go.
I actually just downloaded that Libby app.
Oh, really?
You rent audiobooks, it's like a library card.
Oh, nice.
You should look into it. Yeah, you guys listening, check out Libby.
This is not sponsored.
This is not sponsored, unfortunately. But anyways, yeah, I just like the story, obviously the story and just how it progresses and how we see Louis turning and then where it ends. So
yeah,
I just think it's very well done,
and it's very open-ended. It didn't have to have a happy ending or be all tied up in a bow kind of thing.
No, because the vampires are just gonna live forever, basically.
Yeah, so keep going, right? Yeah.
What do you think was the worst story?
30 Days of Night.
I love how I'm just gonna say it. Mine's Invitation. Yeah. It's just worst movie,
right?
So for the reasons stated. So I'm curious though. If you take the story of 30 Days a Night, but the characters were competent, do you like the premise of 30 Days a Night? And if the characters were good, would that change your opinion at all?
Definitely. I guess maybe not worst story. Invitation's probably worst story if the actors are taken out of the mix.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if someone read you a synopsis of the movie before seeing it,
and you didn't know why these people were doing the things that they did or saw how they interacted with that. Yeah. Probably I would think the movie was a lot more interesting. Yeah, but also too, they have like a knock in their corner from me because the dog's dying. Whenever a dog dies, it's just no good.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Even if it's a bad dog, I don't care.
There is no bad dog.
No.
There's no such thing as bad dog. Right. Bad owners.
Yes.
I stand by that. No bad dog, bad owners. That's fair, but also their decisions are what drive the plot, so you can't really take that away. Yeah. I was just more curious of, I guess, the premise overall. But I had the Invitation as worst story. I was like, girl, what are you doing? Get out of there. And then the whole ending when they're like, I don't know. Are you vampire owners now? Please.
I guess.
Please.
Yeah. And I was like,
please.
Sure.
Yeah, no one gave a shit anymore.
Right.
After what you just put us through,
No.
good for you. I just want to know about her friend. That
Yeah.
was it.
She was great. I was like, wow, like, you need to listen to your friends more.
Yeah. And then for our last category, we have which vampire is the most indestructible?
And it's Twilight,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Stephanie persuaded me. I honestly wasn't sure, and then she gave the reasons of Twilight. So I'll let you say why Twilight.
Well, unfortunately, according to the books and what we see in the movies, vampires are literally indestructible because they are basically rock people. And you can't just like stab them or set them on fire. You have to like pull them apart and burn them completely. Can't leave like a hair unscathed. And honestly, unless you have another vampire on your side to help you with that, if they want to kill you, you're probably dead. You're basically like a sack of mush compared to them.
To the Twilight vampire?
Like how like hard and texture.
Yeah, Edward was hard during that movie, you know? That's just I want to touch one. Because I'm curious, they're like rock hard? How do they move? Is their skin soft? Like, what's happening here?
She almost describes it as like when she lays on his chest or something in bed with her, with him, like laying on like something cool, like a refrigerator or something.
A refrigerator. How romantic.
I love how he's like a refrigerator.
This is Edward, my refrigerator boyfriend. What the hell? I
don't know. He's cool to the touch and basically rock hard, yeah.
Hell yeah. So Edward is a fairy rock person, vampire refrigerator person, man.
Right.
Okay.
So there's really no way you can take him down, unfortunately, even though he is the sparkliest.
Yeah, but he's also fabulous. So,
yeah.
That's just an added perk.
Right.
I don't know about perk, but Okay, so yeah, I mean, so if you stab him in the heart, that's not enough.
Nope.
That's bullshit.
They'd just be like, oh, that sucks.
That's the worst.
Yeah,
so
that's inconvenient.
That's convenient. Yeah, I mean, they are the dead. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I would have never thought on my vampire season I'd be saying that
Twilight's the best vampire.
Well, not the best, just the most deadly and hard to kill.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stephanie Meyer, for just bastardizing a vampire to the point where it's not a vampire.
Rock people,
but also kind of like a lizard, because if they lose their tail, it grows back.
Yeah.
Wait. So if their arm gets chopped off and they burn the arm, does a new arm grow back, or does the original arm have to be like reattached?
I don't know, because they never talk about what happens when you fail to get rid of a vampire. But I assume, like, have you ever seen
oh god,
like the Iron Giant or something like that?
TV or the movie?
Yeah, and like they destroy the Iron Giant and all like the little pieces work back together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I assume that's what happens to all the pieces that haven't been destroyed. But what happens to the one that you burn, maybe he's just growing like a little baby arm or something for a while.
A little hand just crawls to the shoulder.
Just like this.
Hey, at least it's something, right?
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Inconvenient for when you have to go back to school, but
That's so weird. Edward, what happened to you? Oh,
let's not talk about it.
I'm embarrassed. I don't want to say. Interesting. Huh. I could ask so many questions about that, but do you have any other thoughts before we get into our final definitive ranking of the vampire movies?
I think we covered everything. How about you?
Yeah. So if he loses a leg, no, I'm just kidding. All right.
He loses his penis.
Wait, what? Stephanie, what'd you say? His penis? Bella's out of luck.
Oh, yeah.
His venom is...
she's so disappointed that he's not that rock hard.
Not anymore.
Oh, no.
Oh, the venom got nowhere to go.
So going in least to greatest, so everyone understands. So the least scariest vampire would be Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire.
Wait, Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire wasn't scary?
No.
The Disney Channel original movie didn't get bumped up at all?
No, and like, not for a lack of trying.
I know. It was close because at number 2 we had Twilight.
Right.
Like, honestly, those could have been switched.
Yes.
But, Twilight is at least geared towards adults a little bit more, or teens.
Yes.
So, can't be number 1.
And then for 3, we have Dark Shadows. Because it's more funny and lighthearted compared to what else we have going on here.
I know, there's some actual threats.
Yes.
As opposed to Twilight. I mean, you had the other vampires in Twilight, but that was all but 5 minutes of the movie.
Right.
Number 4, we had What We Do in the Shadows.
They probably could switch out with Dark Shadows if they wanted, but
Peter was a little spooky looking.
But he was my favorite.
He was, but seeing him.
Yeah, and it was Peter.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say 3 or 4 could be a little bit swapped.
Yeah. While we were making the list, we said the middle is kind of janky.
It gets a little muddied, but those are close tied.
Right. And then for 5, we have I Am Legend.
Yeesh. It's just a bunch of vampire zombie people.
It's
pretty
zombies.
one note.
Yeah. And you have a specific way to kill them if you need to, and just avoid going out at night. You'll be lonely, but it's alright.
Number 6, we had The Invitation. Despite it being a not so great story, the implications and the ending are, there's some shit going down.
Yeah. I wish it was lower, honestly, but all the other movies, they work so hard to be underneath it.
I know. I mean, overall, I guess we didn't really mention it. A lot of these movies weren't the scariest things. The first 5
Yeah.
are they're not really that scary.
Yeah, like I said, most disappointing thing to happen in I Am Legend is the dog dying.
You're right. That's the scariest part.
Yeah, and I really was concerned. So then we have Interview with a Vampire for 7.
That one is scary in the sense of just the dread of it all and the...
Yeah, existential crisis.
A little bit, Number 8, we have The Lost Boys.
Even though it does have, the 80s vibe to it, which makes it, a little less intimidating. Those shots, though, they were great with the people looking over their shoulder as they ran away from them, and...
Yeah. That and the prosthetics.
Yeah, prosthetics were great.
If I saw someone looking at me like that, with the glowing eyes, I'd be like, oh, hell no. That's scary shit.
We not out to play.
I ain't about that.
And number 9, we have Fright Night.
Fright Night. Fucking Jerry.
Yes, which... I am actually glad that he made it this far because he was relentless.
Yeah. And also the different stages of his transformation. Towards the end, I'm like, oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
Hell no. And then even the girlfriend, when she starts changing.
Right.
That face.
Yes.
Number 10, a girl walks home at night in the dark at home. What's it called?
A
girl walks home alone at night. That one.
Yes.
Yes. I think we were discussing while her as a vampire is not particularly scary because it's just a girl standing there.
Yeah.
The mood of the whole movie is, well, how would you describe that? Just
spooky,
depressing,
unpredictable, I guess, because it's not what you're expecting unless you go in expecting her to be femme fatale.
Yeah.
But also, it's just that she's kind of ominous because she doesn't say a lot, and even when people confront her for following them, she's just like, nothing.
Ain't nothing.
I got nothing to say to you.
It's more the suspense of what's going to happen next, I think, at least.
Yeah. Then 11, we have Daybreakers.
Daybreakers, mostly, in my opinion, just the transformation of the scarier vampires.
Right.
If that came at me,
yeah.
Hell no. No. Number 12, we have Let Me In, which is just wrong on so many levels.
Yeah.
All the ickiness we discussed in the
all
episode.
Those sad topics.
Sad topics. I mean, she's also formidable and kind of scary.
She's...
When she attacks?
Yeah, she's a lot, but the only thing that I think, takes her down a peg is just the whole, no, I need somebody else to do it for me.
I know. She's not femme fatale.
No. I mean, she'd like to.
No, I know. She's one in the making.
Yeah. And then for our final 13 Degrees of Screams category is 30 Days of Night. I'm okay with it.
I mean, it's by far the most brutal, gory, bloody situation.
I wouldn't want to see a group of people just descending on a town like that. No,
no.
That's not all right.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm very sure. No, the deaths are brutal. So
yeah, the vampires are scary, and also the language is unsettling. Like, that was another aspect of this that none of the other vampires really had. I mean, outside of maybe I Am Legend, where they're more just grunt.
Well, just like the fact that they could get people to do their bidding, too, and stuff like that, even though most people knew that they wouldn't survive.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. That movie is just, basically once they show up nonstop.
Yeah.
Deaths and blood and gore. And I mean, if you just Google images of that movie, the vampires are just freaky. They're not,
the eyes,
teeth.
the eyes, the way they look, and just unsettling. It's a shame that all those dum-dums.
I know, the dum-dums bring the movie down in quality, but the vampires are pretty scary.
Definitely.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoy the show and listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, giving us a 5-star rating is super helpful.
You can find us on social media at 13 Degrees of Screams.
This has been 13 Degrees of Screams, and we will see you next season when we discuss movies about scary technology.
Beep, boop, beep.
Beep. Oh, is that going to be your new sign-off? Beep,
Yeah.
boop, beep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's going to be a fun season.
Oh, Lord. Well, be sure to follow us on social media because we will let you know when our new season premieres, and you can stay up to date with all of our updates.
And don't forget to follow for extra content.
Of course.
Bye.
Beep, boop, beep.